Everybody, how are we tonight? Good. Me too. Me too. Wonderful to be here tonight. Thank you very much, TEDx, for having me. My name is Jimmy Tingle. That is my real name. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. I did go back to school in my 50s. And I have to say, the nice thing about going back to school in your 50s, you get the student ID and the senior discount. It is excellent. And it was when I was at the Kennedy School, the reason I went back to school, I've been a comic for over 30 years, I wanted to figure out a way, is it possible to use entertainment for purposes beyond just entertainment? And I was sitting in those classes, and the names that just kept coming up were Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. And I realized what a powerful tool comedy and humor can be in social commentary. So I've come up with this idea called Humor for Humanity, more than entertainment. Raising spirits, funds, and awareness for nonprofits, charities, and social causes. Our mission is your mission. Humor for humanity. Humor in helping. Humor in healing. Humor and hope. Ha, ha, ha. And what I'm trying to do is tap into the positive energy in this country and in this world and support the people and organizations that are doing great work. There's a lot of positive things happening in the world. For example, due to the education levels that we've increased over the years, the awareness and access to health care, Americans are living longer and healthier lives than ever before. They say that 60 years old is the new 40. I love that. 80 is the new 60. I love that. 100 is the new 80. I love that. And the afterlife is the new assisted living. So we have that to look forward to. And there are also many positive people, millions of positive people doing great things. For example, the Pope. Huh? What a breath of fresh air this guy is. I'm not kidding you. I recently got a tweet. I got a tweet from Pope Francis, okay? I'm not kidding you. The Pope is following me on Twitter. Let me just say this. As a Catholic, it's a lot of pressure. Apparently, the Holy Spirit speaks in 140 characters or less. And the thing I love about the Pope, he's challenging people up there. He was in the office about, I don't know, a month or something, and all of a sudden he starts making waves. And it was beautiful. He said, listen, capitalism has got to do more to help the poor people around the world. A lot of people are very upset. He's no Pope. He's a Democrat. What's next? Heal the sick? And I loved when he said, who am I to judge somebody if they're gay and love God? And you know there's people in this country, in this world going, who are you not to judge people? You are the Pope. If you're not going to judge people, who's going to judge them? The St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee? And I loved when he said, listen, the church has to stop obsessing about all these controversial social issues that are separating people from one another. Stop obsessing about birth control and condoms and abortion and gay marriage. What a breath of fresh air. Even my atheist friends were saying, thank God. And there are incredible trends in this country and in this world. For example, the decriminalization of marijuana, okay? 4 states have now legalized marijuana. Now, Colorado was the first, and the data is coming in, and there's good news. And there's bad news. The good news, a lot less people in jail for using marijuana. Excellent. The bad news, a lot more people lost in the woods. And President Obama was beautiful. When Colorado legalized marijuana, President Obama was beautiful. He came on national television, he said, listen, I just want to reassure the American people that marijuana is much less harmful than alcohol. And that's basically true. They're two completely different experiences. Marijuana, at its best, tends to make people think more idealistic, more creative, more noble thoughts about helping their fellow man and woman. For example, I think the people who came up with the idea that private insurance would somehow be able to provide universal health care for every single person in the United States of America at the same time and lower costs for everyone, probably smoking marijuana. The people who actually designed the website, most likely drinking. And even despite the flawed rollout of the website, there are still 9 million Americans who have health insurance now that didn't have it before the Affordable Care Act, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. Riding this wave of positive energy and positive and human progress in this country and around the world. That's what Humor for Humanity is all about, ladies and gentlemen. And we have the technology to do it. We have the technology to make huge progress. Although, I have to say, technology can be very confusing. And sometimes it's overkill. For example, why do I need 2 remotes, 2 clickers to turn on 1 television set? Why? And if my wife and son aren't home, I can't get it on. And I'm angry and I'm frustrated. Hey, do you want on demand? No, I don't want on demand. I want a picture and some sound. I pay $140 a month for cable. I went to Harvard. Give me some pictures and some sound, like I used to get when it was free. Oh my goodness. And the other thing is, we have to have the right people doing the right jobs in this world, okay? One of the biggest problems with that healthcare website was you got people in their 50s and 60s designing a website. You can't have the baby boomers designing websites. It's not our thing. We're still trying to figure out the VCR. Don't make us design the website. And if you ever think that you ever start to get bummed out, like the world is crazy and nothing's working out, you just have to think about the struggles that every generation in this country has gone through. Right back, think of your own parents and the struggle your parents went through, and their parents, and their parents. Right back to the beginning of this country. I know it's a tough job market right now, but what do you think the job market was for, like, the pilgrims? Huh? You think the pilgrims had an easy ride here, ladies and gentlemen? The mighty pilgrims, persecuted in England for their Puritan beliefs, they left England, went to Holland. Persecuted in Holland for their Puritan beliefs, one night, feeling ostracized, rejected by the entire world, the pilgrims had a meeting. We're persecuted in England. We're persecuted in Holland. Where in this world can we go to practice our religion freely? And one of them said, how about the Cape? The Cape? Could we get a place? It's the off-season. And it's 1620. So 100 pilgrims got into a boat the size of this stage. Okay? They set sail for the New World. They were aiming for Virginia, got blown off course, ended up in Provincetown Bay in the winter of 1620. And even in 1620, you could not get a place for 100 people in Provincetown. No. And the thing about the pilgrims, I think we all underestimate the hardships these poor people endured. Obviously, they didn't have heat, electricity, hot water, toiletries, medicine. It was about day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute stress, incredible fear, incredible stress just to survive. Many of the pilgrims had wooden shoes, okay? Wooden shoes. It's bad enough you're lost. Your shoes are made of wood. Many of the pilgrims had wooden teeth. Wooden teeth. They had big buckles on their shoes, big buckles on their belts, big buckles on their hats. Let's face it, the pilgrims were a buckled up people. As a matter of fact, I believe they were the originators of the seatbelt law. Where art thee going? I'm going to Salem to burn a witch. Buckle up. You know you're stressed out, folks, when you need a buckle on your hat to keep your head together. And initially, this is so beautiful. Initially, the pilgrims got along very, very well with the Native Americans. The Indians showed great empathy and love and compassion to the pilgrims. If it wasn't for the Indians, the pilgrims never made it through the first few winters. Squanto and Massasoit told the other Indians, come here, come here, come here to me. We have to help these people. Check them out. They're all buckled up. How are they going to catch a deer? You can hear them coming through the woods for miles. And Squanto told Miles Standish, one of the leaders of the pilgrims, Miles Standish, lighten up, bro. You're in Provincetown. For the love of God, put on some sandals and unbuckle the hat. And here we are, almost 400 years later. And there's still people coming to this country for freedom, religious freedom, economic freedom, political freedom. Now, immigration, it's a very, very controversial issue. Very controversial issue. The Senate recently voted to build a 700-mile fence across the border with Mexico. Now, couple of problems with the 700-mile fence across the Mexican border. First problem, the border with Mexico is 1,900 miles long. Now, I'm not an expert on immigration, but I would surmise that people fleeing abject poverty will go around the fence. And when you look at how hard these people work and the risk they take to come to this country, are they not, on a certain level, modern-day pilgrims? Think about this, sneaking into a country to work. That's incredible. That's like somebody breaking into your house to clean it. But and this is one of the things that I want to work on, immigration reform in this country. That's what Humor for Humanity is about, bringing people to another place, ladies and gentlemen. Because as pro-immigration as I am, we still need accountability in the country. We need to know who is in America and what they're doing here for the sake of the immigrants and for the sake of the society at large. But primarily because the anti-immigration people say that the immigrants take more from our society than they bring to the table. The pro-immigration people say, oh, no. They bring more to the table. But nobody really knows because it's largely an underground economy. Therefore, I am suggesting, ladies and gentlemen, a debit card to be used by all non-citizens in every public and private transaction. At the end of the month, you just add it up to see who has taken what from whom. Okay, sir, let's see, you've been here for 90 days. What have you taken from our society? It says here that you use the public streets, use the public transportation, your children are going to public schools, and when you got hurt running across the border, sir, you in fact used the public emergency room. Yes, you did, sir, you did. Sir, those are our crutches. Okay, granted, they were made in Mexico, but they're ours now. Now, let's see, what have you brought to the table? It says here that you painted 3 houses, you cleaned 13 yards, your wife babysat 14 families, you started a landscape business, you wrote a computer software program, you performed open heart surgery, and according to our record, sir, it says here you pitched 2 innings in the World Series. We owe you $4 million. Here's the thing, folks. We, everybody in this room and everybody in this country, we are in a marriage with the rest of the world. And for marriages to succeed, there's got to be give and there's got to be take. There's got to be compromise. Nobody gets everything they want. My wife and I have been married 18 years. We have a great marriage. Why? There's give and there's take. There's compromise, right? A few years ago, I came down with first of all, I work nights, okay? I work nights. I come in 1, 2, 3 in the morning, okay? She's sound asleep, all right? I have to turn on the light so I can see what I'm doing, right? I don't want to wake her up. She's adapted. She made a little compromise. She wears a blindfold. So I work nights. She wears a blindfold, okay? 2 years ago, I come down with a very severe case of snoring, okay? I snore really, really loudly. I got to adapt. I got to compromise. I went to the dentist. He gave me a mouth guard, okay? So I wear a mouth guard. My wife, she adapted. She got earplugs. Okay? So I got the mouth guard, work nights. She's got the blindfold and the earplugs, okay? Now, she's going through the change, okay? She has hot flashes all the time, right? She wants to sleep with the windows open, okay? With the fan on all winter, the window open, okay? With a fan on, blowing a wind chill factor through the bedroom, okay? We got a polar vortex coming down from the tundra, blowing through I got to adapt. I got to compromise. I got sweatpants. I got socks. I got gloves. I got a hoodie. And I got a hat. So I got the hoodie, the hat, the sweatpants, the gloves, the socks, the mouth guard. She's got the blindfold, the earplugs, and the menopause blowing through the room. Right? Then last year, she comes down with shaky leg syndrome, okay? She kicks all night, kicks the hell out of me, right? I got to adapt. I got one goalie pad for this leg. I got one goalie pad. So I got the goalie pad, the hoodie, the hat, the socks, the mouth guard. in the hat. She's got the blindfold, the earplugs, the shaky leg, and the wind chill factor polar vortex going through the bedroom, okay? Then last year, I come down with sleep apnea. Do you know what sleep apnea is? My breathing is interrupted 33 times an hour in my sleep. 33 times an hour, I die in my sleep, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I have to wear a mask, okay, hooked up to this aquarium thing that pumps oxygen down my throat, right? And I'm a cross between Jacques Cousteau and the goalie for the Bruins with this hard plastic mask, okay? So I got the mask, and I toss and turn at night, and it's so crazy, and it's hard plastic. I don't want to hurt her. She wears a helmet. So what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, after 18 years of marriage, we don't kiss goodnight, we headbutt. Love you, love you. And once a month, we score. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have been great. Thank you. Humor for humanity.